while we're talking.
Welcome to our show. This is book 38, right, Chris?
Yep. Book number 38. It
Yep.
is Blue Ocean Strategy. So this is I guess technically it's a business book. But I like to think of it as a little bit more. Well, I know you've read this one as well. Actually, you know what? True, you've read this one. You give the description.
Okay, Blue Ocean Strategies. It's a book. I think it's from Harvard. It's by a professor and his student, W. Chan Kim and Renée Mauborgne. Like more, how's that? Mauborgne.
I don't know.
Right. So the essence of Blue Ocean Strategy is like they refer to Blue Ocean and Red Sea. Red Sea is when everybody is in that kind of like crowded
it's bloody.
Yes, bloody. It's all the sharks and everybody is competing against each other. And so Blue Ocean Strategy is essentially saying you need to look for some different water when not a lot of competition has entered. And that's going to give you a advantage in terms of, building a business or doing things that people haven't done before.
Exactly. Yeah. It's unlocking new value that didn't exist before. That's new to other people. Yeah. So you're blazing a new trail basically. So my reflection title for this one is do the exact opposite of what everyone else is doing. I'm in the camp at this point in time in my life, and I know that you are too, I think as well, where, if everybody's doing the same thing, run as far and as fast as you can in the complete opposite direction if you want to, I don't know, accomplish anything of value in this world. Only because we're such herd mentality kind of beings, right? Humans mirror each other. That's one of the reasons why we evolutionary have succeeded, is we love to mirror each other. We love to get along. We love to help each other. And we'll talk about that in future books, down the road that we've, learned together. But it's, that's ingrained in us is to look for order, consistency, and to be a contributing member of a community and mirror each other through that stuff. So we think there are safe paths in this world. Like we like security. We have loss aversion. We have like we don't like any of those things, right? Like this is just human nature. I think all of us could probably, if we look deep within ourselves, would say, yeah, that's probably true. Like, I want to go to college because I want to get a good job and I want to move up the corporate world so I can have security for my family. And, and at the end of the day, like this is what, I've learned in the past couple of years is like that can be taken from you in a heartbeat. And I hated that I had to learn that lesson the absolute worst way possible of losing my daughter. But it's true. Like, this world's unpredictable. This world's random. This world is the operating system of the universe is not the operating system of human beings. So we have this innate desire to want to do consistent, a blueprint, a path, organization, and that's just ingrained in us. So knowing that, if you want to ever bring something unique into this world and unlock new value for other people, in my opinion, do the exact opposite of what everybody else is doing. And that's kind of what this reflection is all about. This is what Blue Ocean Strategy, in my view, kind of made me think about is like, if everybody wants to work at a tech company, like go work at a nonprofit. If everybody wants to, work at a company, figure out a way to make money. If everybody wants to make money, figure out a way to make not money, and still survive and thrive. If everybody wants to, do a podcast, do a video, like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Whatever the trends are, what everybody thinks that they can go follow to go do this consistent repeated path, don't do that, because you're just going to end up in these red oceans, and and that's not even you. It's not your unique self coming out in this world, and that's sad. So I find personal value myself and trying to live my own unique values and not try to follow the herd. I know there's value in the herd. I don't want to pretend like that there's no value there, but I think it takes some brave souls every once in a while to break away from that and help build the value for everyone all together. And that's you never know where it'll lead you. Maybe someday we'll change the world. Like we'll have a maybe Clubany will be the new model that everybody will want to be. Someday long in the future where, you know, you start a company and you don't even have a job and you don't have anything to do. And it's just the Montessori workplace. And we're all going, well, that didn't make any sense in the beginning, but everybody was like, you got to go get a job. You got to go to college. And we're just saying, no, like, we're not going to do that. Like, we're going to go let people, you know, produce meaningful work and meaningful and build meaningful relationships in an ecosystem where we support that. And then let's see what they produce out of that, you know, ecosystem versus us telling them what they need to produce in that and in an ecosystem that we give them. So anyway, that's my high level reflection for this one. And the question would be is like, what would the exact opposite of your life look like today? And you know, if you did the exact opposite of everything else. So I'd love to get your thoughts.
Let me start off with a question though. What would be your non-business benefit in following a blue ocean strategy?
What would be, you mean like in terms of Clubany and what we're trying to do?
Yeah, it's non-business. So it could be company, it could be personal, it could be, you know, whatever else that's not business related.
Well, so I think that I'll answer that with the fundamentals of why we even have money and why we exchange things and the value. It's about exchanging value, right? Like, I mean, money was an easy way for us to all have a standard value system that we could all go agree that this has value. At the end of the day, like that could be anything really. We've just all accepted it to be a certain thing in a certain way. And then we've built structures and organizations around making money. And that's why we go do what we do. So as long as there's a fundamentals are the same, like I like to break it all down to more of like a fundamental level basis. And I know this is what you and I have been, you know, kind of deconstructing, you know, a lot of things and breaking it down to the fundamentals for a while now,
right?
Of how we want to build it back up, you know, and to take it from there and then to build it back up. So we're talking about, you know, doing an actual value exchange, you know, of your individual core values in this ecosystem, and then see what produces out of that, you know, and I'm sure there'll be tons of different value that we never even dreamed of, but we'll figure out what that standardized value is eventually and go from there.
Well, I think, you know, in today's society, there is a real value and there's a imaginary value. Imaginary value is value that you think that you're creating by doing activities. An example that I could kind of give you would be a value in saying, if I were to work for a company and the company manager tells me I have to write a report of why I declined a certain solutions, and they're paying me salary to do that report, why I declined. To me, that is imaginary value. I'm not creating anything of benefits, of any value.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. And I still get paid for it. And I think that value has been kind of like you know, cloudy towards the end of the, you know, into the mix of all the society that we've been relying on for so long. So as Clubany, you know, we wanted to take back to its roots and say, okay, I'm doing something that somebody wants. And that's something that I do because I am either good at it or I'm very, you know, whatever.
I find value in it. Like,
yeah, whatever that drives me to produce that item that I can produce so quickly and so cheaply, just because of the condition that with me being wanting to do that thing, whatever that is, whether that's to do taxes, for example. Not a lot of people want to sit there and do taxes. As a matter of fact, everybody, most people I know hate to do taxes, but there are some people who love to do them.
You just reminded me of that. Actually, now I need to email my accountants that we're about a month away.
Right.
Yeah, you get that done. Damn it. True. Yeah.
You should thank me for that. You would. And this is the kind of value I'm talking about. Is I'm giving you value, and because if you forget, what would happen to it? And so I'm not getting paid for my value.
Right.
This is exactly example of how messed up I think our value system is nowadays.
Yeah.
But back to the questions. The reflection title for me is, you know, do you do the opposite of what everybody else is doing? I like to kind of modify that a little bit. I like to take the opposite away. I don't think opposite is the way, because you can say, well, I can go sideways and be
Sure,
completely
sure.
blue ocean, or I can leap forward and be completely blue ocean.
Fair enough. I mean,
So it
I
gives me
agree.
more path to choose than to do the opposite, because I think it depends. So knowing of all the concepts and ideas across a lot of books that we've read together, I think, knowing that we are not foolishly fall into the trap of doing the opposite, the only option there is.
Fair enough. I would let me revise it and say, do don't do what everybody else is doing.
No, just do
Yeah.
what everybody else is not doing.
There you go. Yeah, which means do what you want to do. Like that's what everybody else is not doing, is what you want
Yes.
to do. And yeah, I think you're spot on. Actually, it's really funny, this conversation with my morning Darren Daly this morning, which was he was talking about Mike Tyson, and he went to go see a Mike Tyson one-man show in Vegas with his wife, and he said, Mike would, how he forged his iron will, I guess, if you will, was, his big tip that he took away from it was, when whatever you're doing, you're going to hate something, but the key is to learn to love what you hate. And I literally like shivered when I heard that. Like I was like, it made me want to vomit in my mouth. Yes,
It sounds
you
good,
just took
but
it sounds good, but you just took that advice from one of the most flawed human beings that any of us have ever seen. Like that guy is a wreck. Like Mike Tyson is a psychopath sometimes, like his life has been a roller coaster up and down. Like, yes, doing that philosophy did help him to excel in the system that was created, and
right.
and he did shit that he hated, but he didn't ever know who he was. Like, and when all that came crumbling down, and when he was left to just himself, he didn't know anything about himself, and he spiraled out of control. He ended up in jail. He did every drug under. He lost control of his body. Like, I mean, like, listening to that, relaying advice from that man to other people to say, like, this is how you should think about success in this world, is exactly what I'm saying do the opposite of. I think you should say the advice should be, do what you love to do, and then do more of that. Like, I mean, that's it. Like, it's
Right.
not that hard, but I think people always get so tripped up on that concept, and they're like, well, not everybody loves what they do, Chris. Well, that's the problem. Is like, they should love what they do. Like, I mean,
that's a problem people don't recognize as a problem,
right?
Because people think that, because for me, I mean, it boils down to what you said. Is, in my mind, I'm saying, if you want to learn how to box, you listen to Mike Tyson. Don't listen to him on anything else.
On life, yeah.
It's like, what credibility does he have to give you advice on anything else?
To be fair, you could say the same thing for us.
He sucked in everything except boxing.
I agree. I mean, one could argue the same for us as well, but at the same time, like, I don't care. Like, I don't think that we're trying to tell people what to do. We're saying, do whatever you want to do. We're
advocating do it because you wanted to do it, not because I say or you say we do it.
Exactly. Like, right? I'm not giving you any advice on life. I'm saying, whatever you like to do, let me help you to figure out how to do that more. Like right. That's what we want to. That's the world that we want to build. Instead of going to work at a company where you have to learn to love what you hate, and to do it even better. Like, that's stupid.
It's the same. It's the same saying I keep saying as well. Is embrace the suck. That's his most idiotic phrase I've ever heard. Is embrace the suck. Right. Okay. Rise, grind, and repeat. And I think if somebody hears me saying that, which probably a lot of people do, which is they are doing that, and they're gonna hate me because they be defensive, say, "Oh, I'm doing that, so you must be wrong," without even thinking about it. I say, "Well, it's up to you. If that's what you want to do,
that's what you got, right?
Rise, grind, and repeat, or to embrace the suck. Well, that's your life, not my life. I don't care. I'm just saying, agreed, you should care about what you do that makes you feel your life is
fulfilled and meaningful work and meaningful relationships.
And
like,
if you disagree with that, I don't care.
I mean, I think we could clearly say definitively that Mike Tyson, boxing was not meaningful work, and it did not result in meaningful relationships where he was fulfilled enough. Because as soon as that all crumbled, he sought everything and anything else elsewhere in order to try to find fulfillment. Like,
Yes.
and like 100%.
He's still searching. That means he
and
didn't
he's still
found it
searching.
yet.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So all I can say is I feel fulfilled doing what we're doing. And I know that you feel fulfilled doing what we're doing. So like, if we can help other people to feel fulfilled, like that's the goal. Right. And that is the opposite. That's a blue ocean. You know, that is a world that we all live in, this red ocean of embrace the suck and, you know, fall in love with the things that you hate. And, you know, and like, I don't know what this mentality is and how we've all been brainwashed into doing this, but like, you know,
it's because the thing is that you listen to a boxer giving you advice on life. You know, it's like, if you want to take boxing lesson, yeah, listen to the guy who succeed in boxing,
right?
Not in life, right? Because to me, everything else he does is not successful, and so he's using his status as a boxer to say, okay, because I am successful as a boxer, I'm also should be a life coach as well, because it gives me some credibility somehow. And to me, that is the worst kind of assumption you can make.
Yeah,
right.
I agree 100%. I'm going to add one big important caveat in my mind to that. There is value in listening to Mike Tyson and lessons learned from his life. There's value in the extremes of this world. Like, and there's a lot of value. There's probably arguably the most value can be found in terms of lessons learned from the extremes in this world. And take that back and then try to live a balanced life. Like what we're saying is that's great. Like, you know, do what we saw what Mike Tyson could do when you just dedicate your life to something you know, he just sadly dedicated to something he didn't like. You know, like, I mean, well, what if you took that same thing and dedicated it to something you did like and then felt fulfilled as well? You know, like you wouldn't.
I mean, at least if you do that, at least you'd be happy.
Exactly.
Regardless of where it takes you, regardless whether that you're gonna make you money or doesn't make money, it's gonna like it. Whether you like fishing and you fish and well, you get the enjoyment out of fishing, whether you make money from the fish you caught or not, that's, you know, that's gravy, right?
Exactly.
But at least you are enjoying what you're doing, and that's what we advocate.
Right. Like it's there's something to be said about the Tiger Woods, the Mike Tysons of the world, where you put your mind to something, what humans can do when they really dedicate their heart and soul into something, it's pretty remarkable, you know, like,
yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's saying that you could do it, but the question I asked that person is, should you do it?
That's up to that person if they want to, and it's
could,
like, then sure.
Could and should
if they love it.
Two separate questions.
Right. There's somebody out there that loves it, you know.
Right. I'm saying like I just told you about taxes. I mean, most people don't like to crunch number, but I've actually met a few people that actually loves to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably spin that into a fulfilling job, honestly, of you're helping people to manage their life, you're helping people to you know, to solve financial trouble, you're helping people to plan for college, probably, you're helping people to, you know, to you know, give back money to like be able to pay for their kids to go on a vacation. Like, I mean, there's a lot of million ways you could probably justify a purpose around being a tax accountant, you know what I mean? If that's the way you wanted to look at it. Like, I don't think anybody enjoys, you know, I mean, well, maybe they do. Anyway, your point's well taken. But any other final thoughts on Blue Ocean Strategy? What do you think about the book, by the way? Would you recommend this book to other people?
Yes, I would. I think because the nuggets of it is you can't be doing what everybody else is doing and to be different. And the book has that particular concept and idea, kind of illustrate that, you know, you want to win by carving yourself a market, carving yourself a new environment, like where you're the one is controlling it, and there's not a lot of people in it yet, because you can't continue to compete with people that are in it, and all you're doing is you can make the water bloody. That's all you're doing.
Right. I agree. The concept of the book I love. Like, I don't know that I loved this book, to be honest with you. I feel like
it's like like the compound effect book. It's just one idea that he's trying to portray.
But at least the compound effect was entertaining. Like, you know, I'm saying this book wasn't like.
Well, this book is written by a Harvard professor. So
I know.
It's the most boring book you can ever.
Yeah, it was I'm glad that I read it, but I don't know that I'm gonna like, you know,
Well, I think
yeah,
I think it's good if you're in business.
right.
And then
I think it's good for anything.
if you're not in business, just listen to the podcast. And I'm telling you, just do what everybody else is not doing,
Right.
because you want room for yourself. You want
Right.
room to breathe and not to be stressed out by doing what people are doing just because they are doing it, and you stress out because of it.
Agreed. Awesome. Well, good chat for the day. And the question we can leave everybody with is, what would the exact opposite of your life look like? You know, or as True would say, the side up. You know, like, what would it look like if you didn't do the same thing that everyone else is doing?
Right.
Think about that, and yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right. We'll see you next time.